So in this session, we are going to discuss the health benefits of the nutraceuticals in the management of the diseases. So let us move towards the health benefits of nutraceuticals in the management of the various diseases and the disorders. So nutritional therapy is a healing system that uses dietary therapeutics or the nutraceuticals as a complementary therapy. Already we have discussed the Indian systems of medicine like Ayurveda, Unani, Siddha, and so on. And they have given the much more importance to the diet. And maybe the nutraceuticals came into the existence and they are having a great role in the management of the certain diseases and the disorders. So this therapy relies on the belief that food cannot only be the source of nutrients and energy, but can also provide the certain benefits, like it provides the medicinal benefits. They're having certain activities. They're going to avoid the side effects of the certain therapies. They're going to increase the health beneficial effects. Due to their natural dietary supplement, they do not have unpleasant side effects. So whatever the nutrients we are using, they're not having the certain side effects. Then there is an increase in health value, diet, and improve medical condition of the humans. And all these are easily available and economically affordable. So these are the certain benefits of the nutraceutical, health benefits of the nutraceutical. So most of the nutraceuticals possesses numerous therapeutic benefits and are claimed to exhibit physiological benefits or provide protection against various diseases. There are so many nutraceuticals are there and they are being used in the management of certain diseases, prevention of certain diseases, treatment of certain diseases. That is the chronic diseases related with the cardiovascular system, related with the obesity, related with the diabetes, related with the cancer, and so on. So whatever the nutraceuticals are there, they are having the properties or they are going to be used as the cardiovascular agents, anti-obese agents, anti-diabetic agents, anti-cancer agents. Then they are immunoboosters or substance that manage the chronic inflammatory disorders and the formulations to cure the degenerative diseases. Already we have talked enough in the concepts of nutraceuticals, right? I have given listed the diseases along with the examples of the nutraceuticals which is being used in the prevention and treatment of the certain chronic diseases. Say for example, cardiovascular disease, then the diabetes mellitus, Parkinsonism disease, Alzheimer's disease, gastrointestinal disorders, and the cancer. Right? So let us move further. So in the view of the various chronic disorders, we are going to discuss the role of a nutraceutical in the prevention and treatment of the certain chronic diseases. As you know that the diabetes, it is the one of the leading cause in a various complications, right? Maybe the once the patient is suffering from the diabetes, he or she may get very prone to the hypertension and other complications related with the eyes, kidneys, and so on. So if we can take care to prevent the diabetes or to treat the diabetes, that could be helpful to further manage its complications. So what is the diabetes? So diabetes mellitus, it is being characterized by abnormal high levels of the blood sucrose or either due to insufficient insulin production. There are two things are there which are being considered in the diabetes mellitus. Very first one, that's a high level of blood glucose level because of decrease in the peripheral uptake of sugar, right? And second one, due to insufficient insulin production. Depending on that, furthermore, the diabetes mellitus, it is going to be classified as type 1 and type 2. Type 1 might be autoimmune type of things, and type 2, it is due to the obesity. If you can see the underlying cause for the diabetes mellitus, it seems to be the obesity. And if we could control the obesity, if we could control the high weight or weight gain in the human being, definitely the chances of diabetes mellitus or the cardiovascular diseases is going to be reduced, right? And here, the nutraceuticals came into the picture because none of the medicine is available to treat the obesity because there is a fat deposition, isn't it? And we have to supposed to burn the fat either with the help of physical exercise or by using the certain nutraceuticals, isn't it? Or the third way that is known as the liposuction. But I think so, the use of nutraceuticals and physical exercise is one of the best way to control the obesity. Moving towards the role of nutraceuticals in the management, prevention, treatment, and management of the diabetes mellitus. So here I have cited so many examples, right? And you should by heart all those examples, isn't it? How these nutraceuticals are being used in the management of the diabetes mellitus. So very first example, that is the lipoic acid. If you can see, this is the chemical, which is a universal antioxidant, right? And it is being used in the treatment of diabetic neuropathy. It is going to reduce the oxidative stress and thereby it could be useful in the management of the diabetic neuropathy. Then the second example, that is the dietary fibers. All these dietary fibers are either soluble type or the insoluble type, isn't it? They are going to reduce the absorption of sugar from the GIT and they are going to manage the sugar levels in the systemic circulation. So dietary fibers from the psyllium have the used in the glucose control in the diabetic patients and to reduce the lipid levels in the hyperlipidemia. Furthermore, these dietary fibers are having the ability to reduce the lipid levels also. And they are also going to be used to reduce the blood glucose level. So dietary fibers used for both pharmacological and food supplement possesses the reduction in the weight by glucose and the lipid control. There are two things are there. Means dietary fibers, they are going to be used in the management of diabetes as well as the cardiovascular diseases. One of the leading cause of both the diseases is the weight gain. And all these the dietary fibers, they have the great role in the reduction of the glucose level as well as the reduction in the absorption of the fatty acids, or they are going to control the lipid levels in the systemic circulation and thereby reduces the deposition of the things. Then the next example, that is the herbal stimulants such as the ephedrine, caffeine, then the guarana, chitosan, green tea. All these herbal stimulants, they are going to reduce the body weight. Chitosan, it is a kind of polysaccharide. You may know the green tea, you may know the guarana, then caffeine and ephedrine. All these herbals, they are going to reduce the weight or they are going to decrease the weight of body. Then buckwheat seed proteins act similar to natural fibers present in a food. So furthermore, they are going to reduce the body weight and could be helpful in the management of the diabetes mellitus. Then docosahexaenoic acid, controls the insulin resistance and is helpful in the neurovascular development and in the gestational diabetes. Gestational diabetes mellitus is something related with the pregnancy. And it is having a, that is a docosahexaenoic acid having a role in the management of the gestational diabetes mellitus. Moving further, the next example is the isoflavones. So these are the phytoestrogens with the structural or functional similarity to human estrogens and widely consumed by the human for the management of the diabetes. Then soya isoflavones. So by consuming the soya isoflavone, which reduces the incidence and mortality of type 2 diabetes, heart diseases, osteoporosis, and certain cancers. So soya isoflavones, they are having also a role in the management of the diabetes mellitus. Then omega-3 fatty acids, which are going to reduce the glucose tolerance in the patients prone to diabetes. Then ethyl esters of N3 fatty acids are also potentially beneficial in the diabetes. Then magnesium reduces the diabetes risk and improves the insulin sensitivity. So some of the minerals like magnesium, chromium, calcium, and vitamin, they're also having a role in the management of the diabetes mellitus. So chromium picolinate, the calcium and vitamin D promote the insulin sensitivity and improve the glycemic control in the diabetes. The extracts of the bitter melon and cinnamon potentially treat and prevent the diabetes. Some of the examples from the slides we are going to discuss later on with the detail, right? Yes. So moving towards the role of vitamins in the management of the diabetes. So which are those vitamins which are being used in the management of diabetes? That's vitamin C, vitamin E, and biotin. So vitamin C, there is ascorbic acid, which is available in the citrus fruit and so many vegetables, which reduces the protein glycation. Furthermore, the vitamin E, it is a protective against type 2 diabetes. Vitamin E, it is a oil-soluble vitamin. Then biotin, it is a member of B complex, act by stimulating the liver glucokinase activity, increasing the insulin production, and enhancing the glucose uptake in the muscles. So there are 3 vitamins are there which are being used in the management of the diabetes mellitus along with the vitamin D. So moving towards the calcium and vitamin D, initially we'll see the calcium. So calcium, it is going to suppress the secretion of parathyroid hormone and improve the glucose tolerance and prevent diabetes mellitus. So this is the way, the mechanism by which the calcium is going to act as an anti-diabetic. So calcium, it is going to suppress the secretion of parathyroid hormone. It improves the glucose tolerance and prevent the diabetes mellitus. After balance between the intracellular and extracellular calcium in the beta cells, thereby decreasing the insulin resistance and increases the insulin secretion. In order to understand the role of ions, role of minerals in the management of any of the disease, you should know the pathophysiology of the particular. Then vitamin D is a immunomodulatory and anti-inflammatory agent. It reduces the inflammation of pancreatic glands and decreases the autoimmune insulinity, and thereby it is used in the management of the diabetes mellitus. It enhances the function of beta cells of the pancreas. So automatically the secretion of insulin, it is going to be increased. They directly act on the beta cells. So this is about the minerals and vitamins which are being used in the management of the diabetes mellitus. Vitamins like vitamin D, C, E, and biotin, and mineral, one of the minerals that is the calcium. Let us move towards the L-Carnitine. L-Carnitine, it is the vitamin-like compound. It is mainly present in the mammalian plasma mainly in the skeletal and cardiac muscle. It helps in the fatty acid transport across inner mitochondria membrane into the matrix of beta oxidation, then detoxification of potentially toxic metabolites and stabilization of the cell membrane. It avoids accumulation of short and medium chain fatty acids in the mitochondria, and it promotes insulin sensitivity, affects oxidative metabolism, and lowers the lipid level. Furthermore, it is going to fight with the oxidative stress and insulin resistance of the skeletal muscle. So in short, the L-carnitine, it is going to be used in the management of the diabetes mellitus. It is going to reduce the oxidative stress and it is going to act as an antioxidant. Furthermore, it is going to avoid the accumulation of short and medium chain fatty acids into the mitochondria and it is going to lower the lipid level. So this is about the L-carnitine. Furthermore, the L-carnitine, it is going to prevent the diabetic ketoacidosis by enhancing the breakdown of fatty acids and binding acyl residue. One of the complications of the diabetes is the diabetic ketoacidosis. And L-carnitine, it is going to prevent the diabetic ketoacidosis by enhancing the breakdown of the fatty acids and it is going to binding the acyl residue. Let us see the omega-3 fatty acid. So omega-3 fatty acid may be available in the marine products. It supplement lowers the triglycerides, very low density lipoproteins, that is cholesterol, then inflammatory markers and blood pressure. It also avoids the insulin resistance and mainly it is useful in the treatment of type 2 diabetes mellitus. Omega-3 free fatty acids mainly utilized in the cardiovascular diseases and furthermore, it is having a role in the diabetes mellitus also. Then the coenzyme Q10, it improves the insulin resistance and lowers the glucose and fasting insulin levels. Then phytoestrogens reduces the adipose tissue and improves the glucose uptake. Let us see the minerals, how these minerals are going to be helpful in the diabetes mellitus. And it is having a important role in the management of the diabetes. There are three minerals are there which we are going to discuss. There is the chromium, zinc and antioxidants, and magnesium. So very first, the chromium. So chromium increases the insulin sensitivity and improves the glucose tolerance in the patients with type 2 diabetes. It improves the insulin receptor mediated signaling and potentiates its action. Furthermore, it regulates the reaction involving the phosphorylation, dephosphorylation, which are important for insulin binding receptor. It influences the glucose utilization by peripheral tissue. Simply, one of the mineral that is the chromium, it is used in the management of the diabetes mellitus and it is going to interfere with the glucose utilization by the peripheral tissue. Then zinc and antioxidant, they are going to prevent the damage of retina due to oxidative stress. As you know, one of the complications of diabetes mellitus that is the damage to the retina and it is being prevented with the help of zinc and certain antioxidants by relieving the stress. Then magnesium intake lower the level of fasting insulin. It involves the glucose oxidation and glucose transport across the cell membrane. It enhances insulin secretion, improves insulin sensitivity and peripheral glucose reuptake. Here I have tried to, in each and every example, I have tried to give the mechanism of action so as to you will understood the basic things related with the particular nutraceutical application in the management of diabetes mellitus. Our requirement is which type of the material or nutraceutical it is used or it is having health benefits in the management of the diabetes mellitus. That's it. I have taken an additional content so as to will understand how. If the question asks, if someone says how, then the answer it is given in the slide. How it is going to act as I say, for example, going to reduce the glucose level. How it is going to be helpful in the management of the oxidative stress and so on. Moving further, the curcumin, as you know that curcumin it is having a great role in the management of various diseases and disorders, and it is having a great role in the management of diabetes mellitus also. It is going to directly interact with the COX-2 DNA polymerase, LOX, glycogen synthetase, kinase 3B, that is GSK3B, and cytokines TNF alpha. It directly interacts with the several transcription factors, activator protein, and signal transmitters. So, if you can consider all these MOA of the curcumin, when we are considering all these factors, these factors are going to lead the obesity, isn't it? And furthermore, induce the insulin resistance and chronic inflammation. And hence, the curcumin it is having a role in the prevention of the diabetes. Whatever the factors we have seen previously, the previous points, all these factors are related with the obesity, and the curcumin it is going to act on all these factors, and thereby it is going to manage the diabetes, right? Then the next point, that is the dietary fibers. There are two types of fibers are there. One is a soluble, another is a soluble, and they are going to form a viscous solution, and it is having the gelling properties. Soluble fibers increase the insulin sensitivity and reduces the prostaglandin glucose level. So this is about the dietary fibers. So here we have finished the first point, that is the management of diabetes by using the various nutraceuticals.